So, Candace, where we always start is growing up.
Yeah,
I want to know what life was like when you were little. Tell
sure.
me, kind of share a little bit about, growing up, high school years. What was life like for you?
Yeah. Well, first, I want to start off by saying sorry for any noises. I do live in a construction zone right now. We just built a house and there's plenty more going up. And also, my dog's still getting used to all the noises. So he might start barking. So, again,
Hey,
apologize. Real life stuff here. So,
this podcast is the real and the raw, so we're
yeah,
good.
that's right. It's real life. So growing up, I grew up in a small town, very small town. We had one stoplight. I could ride my bike from one end of the town to the other. And, I loved it. It was just awesome to be super close to friends and family. And I've always been a kind of type A personality person. Was always just trying to be like the good kid, and make my parents proud and everyone else. And so growing up, I was heavily into sports. I played, t-ball starting out, and then I went into like coach pitch, and then little league, and then I started softball, and then played basketball, volleyball, and softball in high school. I like I said, type A. I also made sure that my academics were where they needed to be. So a lot of my life growing up was just honestly sports. Like I tell my parents, I don't know how you guys did it. Like I'm thinking about my life now, and like
Yeah,
if I throw a kid in the mix that did what I did, like I actually don't even know like how I could function.
I am right there with you. Like I always said, I don't know how people do it with kids, especially kids that are in sports and show homes, and like I barely could keep up with myself,
I
and my
know.
clients.
It's insane, and I'm like, I have so much respect for parents. Like, I mean, I've always had respect for my parents, but of course they always say like you gain more respect the older you get. And so, we were constantly on the move, running, going, like I said, during school, sports, during the summer, sports, just nonstop. So that was pretty much my life growing up. And then decided to my college career was kind of um, I kind of went a little bit all over the place. So my story is, you wish that you would have made certain decisions and you didn't, and you wish, whatever. You wish if you could go back, you'd do it different. So I lived. Once my parents we left the little town called Byesville where I grew up when I was 10, I think. Moved out to what you would consider the country. They lived on 8 acres. We moved out to 8 acres of land, and um it's just funny to think about this, but so we moved out there, and we lived about 10 minutes from Muskingum University. Do you know where that's at?
Yep,
New Concord, Ohio. So we lived about
yep.
10 minutes from there. And so, grew up from like age 10 to, high school. And then, when I'm 18 and I'm a senior and trying to figure out what college I want to go to, everyone's like, why don't you go to Muskingum? It's like 10 minutes from your parents' house. And I'm like, why would I go to Muskingum when it's 10 minutes from my parents' house? Um, the volleyball coach there had been following me throughout my high school career and wanted me to come there, but I was like, no way, right? Got to spread my wings, got to get away from my parents' house. I got to experience, the college thing. So I didn't end up going to Muskingum. I ended up going to West Liberty University, and instead of playing volleyball, I played softball there.
Okay.
Okay,
Where,
so
where's West Liberty at?
so it's West Virginia. So it's actually like if you go take 70 east all the way like past like well, I don't know, like if you're going
St. Clairsville and all that.
Wheeling, kind of Wheeling area.
Yep.
It's really
Yep.
close to Wheeling.
Okay.
So I went there, which was super cool, fun experience. But then, of course, I tore my rotator. I was supposed to, start as a freshman. I was super excited. But then right before season, I think it was like a month before season, I tore my rotator. So then I couldn't even play sports. So I ended up transferring out of West Liberty and went to Ohio State. So my sophomore year, I was at Ohio State, and this was right before they were switching from quarters to semesters.
Yep.
So anyone who's familiar with like how that works with college, like it really changes the schedules up pretty significantly. And
Yep.
so going
That
into
would
my
have been what, 2010, 2011?
2011, I think. Yeah, 2011. Because 2010, I graduated high school. And then, yeah, so 2011, 2012 would have been my sophomore year.
Okay.
So yeah, going into my junior year, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna switch to semesters." And again, I'm trying to, at this point in my life, I'm trying to like make it myself, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if I switch to semesters, I'm not gonna be able to work at all because the program I was in, which was speech language pathology, was gonna cause me to have classes from like morning to evening. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have to rely on my parents for money. Like, I want to work. So, junior year, I ended up transferring to Muskingum University. So I ended up there. Joke's on me. It worked out. It's fine. Again, I wish I just would have went there in the first place, and probably would have saved a ton of money by living at home and all of that good stuff. But didn't end up playing any sports because obviously my shoulder was still hurt. I never got surgery or anything like that. But I think it was a blessing in disguise. I was pretty burnout, I think, with the sports and just not having a lot of time, and it kind of gave
Yeah.
me more time to focus on my academics and just life in general, and I was able to
Yeah.
work and all that good stuff.
It's first I have to ask, are you still on the volleyball circuit? Because I play at Flanagan's every
Yeah,
week. So
yeah. So yeah. So Trish Conrad with Broken
yes,
Head.
yes,
So she was last year. I played on a club team or sorry, sand volleyball team with her and her brother and a few other people in real
yeah.
estate over at the Goat in Gahanna.
Okay.
Did that, but then I decided not to do it this year. But I'm itching to get back into it. So
Yeah.
yes, I'm a
Oh,
free agent.
there you go. That's awesome. So you end up, jump into really three different colleges,
Yeah.
in your college career, and ended up going back to basically your hometown college.
Yep.
Did you end up graduating?
I did. Yeah, in
Uh,
4 years too. I transferred and I still did 4 years of college. So I thought that was pretty impressive. Like I don't know how I did it, to be honest with you. I should have added like a year or two to my college career. But yeah, I
Yeah.
ended up doing I got the standard communications degree, right?
Yep.
Which I
Yep.
think was actually super helpful for me and where I'm at in my career now. But of course, me wanting more, I ended up, after I graduated from undergrad, I ended up applying to Syracuse University for my master's.
Oh wow.
And yeah, in digital communications with a focus on marketing and advertising. And I got accepted. Cool. It's kind of cool thing to think about. We were the first class in that program to actually do it virtually, kind of like what we're doing here, like
Yeah.
Skype or, whatever Skype was our platform at the time.
Okay.
So, we are 20, I think we had 22 of us in the program. And, we were from all over the country, and we would meet every evening over, whatever Skype, whatever the platform was, and do our class, which was kind of cool. So I ended up getting my master's from Syracuse. And yeah, so that's kind of growing up, high school, college in a nutshell.
No, that's awesome.